Good morning. It's Monday, March 7th. Ever since the nuclear deal was created, I have been against it. I saw no reason why we should allow a country like Iran to ever get a nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, Biden, in his inimitable mistake, has elected to try and get us back into this nuclear deal. And Iran has tons and tons of oil. Oil is probably the most evil, most dangerous liquid on the face of the earth. But they have tons and tons of it that they can't unload because of the sanctions that have been put upon them in relation to the nuclear deal. So Iran wants to unload their oil. They want to get rid of their oil. And they are making that the price of admission for the United States into the nuclear deal. So I say, for the price of oil, are we going to allow that country to get nuclear weapons? I say no. That's the cost of doing business. And the cost of doing business is not to sell your soul for the future. So do we want Iran to be allowed to sell their oil just to reduce the prices for us now? No, we don't want to do that. And we shouldn't do that. Iran should be stuck with those sanctions. There should be no nuclear deal. And so what if the price of oil is going up? That's Russia's fault. That's not Iran's fault. And they shouldn't be allowed to profit from it by letting us into this deal, into this terrible, terrible nuclear deal. Because the world doesn't need another nuclear power out there. It's bad enough that Russia has nuclear weapons. So that's what I'm saying right now. And then we have Russia, whose major product in the eyes of the world is their oil. And they're not too happy about the way the nuclear deal is going and letting the United States get back into the nuclear deal. Because one of the things that Iran wants, if the United States comes back into the nuclear deal, is that they should lift the sanctions on the oil that Iran has. And if that oil hits the market, that will probably, I won't say it'll destroy Putin's most important source of revenue, his oil, but it will certainly diminish what Putin could do with his oil if Iran's oil gets back into the public domain. So this whole Ukrainian thing has so many tentacles that you can't keep track of everything that's going on. So they can leverage the nuclear deal against Putin to see if that can make him stop his Ukrainian war. Will that work? But that's an insane thing. The whole thing, this whole pile of rubble is sitting there to be picked apart by people. So I'm against this nuclear deal. I don't care, and I am against Iran getting rid of their oil, and I am against Russia getting rid of their oil. And I really don't know what we can do about it. I mean, if Russia would agree to get out of Ukraine and help them rebuild the country, then I don't care if they make money in oil. I don't care. And if Iran stops behaving like the monster that it is and stops attacking Israel and everything, they could make all the money they want on oil also. Why can't we have peace in the world? Why can't countries get along with one another? Why? You don't know why, I don't know why. But it's insane. And it's all hinging around oil. So maybe the best thing that could ever happen in this world is if we could eliminate the production of oil all over the world. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? No more gas emissions. No more worrying about getting sick because the fumes are in the air. How would that be? Wouldn't that be a terrific way to live? I know you all must think I'm crazy talking like this, but it's possible. Imagine a world without oil. Imagine the fact that you could go to the gas station and not put gas in your car, but charge it electricity. That would be a wonderful thing. We'd all be safer. We'd all be happier. Yes, and I know there are those that are going to tell me that they got to produce the electricity somehow or some way or some shape. So we got the sun. I can't tell you how many solar panels I have seen up in the neighborhood recently. I took a ride around my neighborhood, and I am telling you that a quarter of the houses have solar panels already. So people are doing their jobs. They are trying to eliminate using oil to heat their houses. When I bought my house, I had the option of putting oil in or putting natural gas into the house, and I chose natural gas. I chose natural gas because I didn't want to worry about having to get a truck every 6 months or so to come to fill up the oil tank, but also because oil wasn't clean. Gas was much cleaner and much easier. So much easier to have a house that's heated by gas. I don't know if it cost me more or less. I can't tell you that because I really didn't care. And that's pretty much the way I feel about gasoline right now. I don't care what the cost of gasoline is, because obviously I'm driving a plug-in car, so it's not a big deal for me to worry about the price of gasoline. But people want to smarten up. Gasoline is lethal. Oil is lethal. It's a commodity that we don't need anymore, but it's going to take us maybe 50 or 100 years to get rid of it. So that's my rant this morning. And Iran and Russia have brought oil to the top of my list of getting rid of something. So in any event, I don't want us back in this nuclear deal. I don't care about anything except keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. And they're very close. Right now, they're very close. They have uranium at like 60%, which is very close. It's very close to weapons grade. So that's it for this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.